so it doesn't get flooded by the river, and it pulls along the tube behind it. When it pops up in the selected area, workers come, unfasten the tube from the back, and fasten it to the ground, and then they build a incinerator around it. The way we get our garbage to our incinerator is each of our duplexes or three family homes, there is a blue sphere that's made of plastic. You fill it with your garbage, any kind, and when there's a sensor in it that when it's about to be filled, it closes itself and is automatically sent to our main garbage facility in the middle of the residential. And then using vacuum tubes is sent to our incinerator. And that is all the work that went into the incinerator and the tubes. Hey Robert, why don't you talk about our incineration system?
Okay, so as the capsules of garbage go from our houses and commercial to our facilities, the capsules are loaded into boxes. These boxes then open the capsules and they are sent to one of three incinerators depending on the type of trash you have. You have your medical waste, your food stained, and then your recycling that we recycle. We incinerate it, and as the smoke goes up, we decided to put in an air scrubber system on each of the incinerators to get rid of our pollution. The bad air comes in here and is sprayed by a chemical mist so that the soot in the smoke will fall with the chemical mixture here. Then the smoke comes out here and spins a turbine here. That's one of our main sources we get our power, and the smoke comes out here. Then we refilter the water so that we can reuse it. All we have to do is add a little bit of the chemical because it doesn't need too much for it to attract to the soot that's in the smoke. It's a good way to get rid of the pollution, and it's also a good way to get our power. It also leaves our air unpolluted.
Well, the final topping on the cake is the worm farms. In the back of each of our houses, no matter how big or small they are, is a 6 foot by 4 foot worm garden or worm farm. There can be at least 25 to 50 worms in each container, and the food that you throw in all the food garbage that you shouldn't put in the tubes. The kind of food that the worms will eat can consist of banana peels, orange rinds, coffee grounds, anything like that. So the worms eat the food and then make the compost, and the fertilizer made from the compost you can either sell to farmers to grow their crops, or you can use in the garden. Speaking of the garden, next to the worm garden in every home, there is a vegetable garden where you can grow carrots, potatoes, anything like that. And then the vegetables that you grow, you can either eat or sell in the markets. And you can also buy food from the markets instead of just selling them. And that's basically all there is to the worm farms.
And that's not all that our great city has to offer. Since we live in a tropical area, we have many great scenic spots with parks and ponds through the city, and we have beaches along the river, so you can do boating activities, wakeboarding, surfing, fishing, snorkeling, and all those kind of water activities that you do. And we also have this expo center here where we can do pro sports. Our sports team is called the Goats. And then we have a center here for high school sports where we have the Koalas. That's all we wanted to say about our city. Thank you, and we will see you later.
Okay, we got a few questions for you. So what are some of your favorite building materials that you used in your city model, and where did you find them?
Well, we had most of the electronic pieces taken apart from random things. We have some ink cartridges. We have a cap for a jar.
We have some magnets that lost their magnetism that we used for our houses, for our duplexes.
And we have a few Legos randomly placed.
And then we used the bottoms of Christmas tree lights without the wires or the bulbs, and we just glued them on as trees for our city.
And we had donated tiles that were for sample, like you would take one for sample from Home Depot. And so we have tiles as our factories on the shoreline.
And then the BBs in the tube, they're just regular BB gun BBs that we decided we could put some garbage in them.
Did you paint them blue?
No, they're
They came
naturally
blue.
clear blue.
Really? Okay, I have one of those.
What chemical are you using in your scrubber?
I can't answer that because all the sites I looked at, they never told me what chemical was used to condense with it. Like I looked at like 10 to 15 sites just to find that out, and I'd never found it.
So, why did you choose to lay out your city the way that you did?
So, the reason we put the residential and commercial away from the industrial is so that the smog from the smoke from the factories, even though it's a clean smoke, not clean, it would still bother the citizens. So we thought of that, and also we wanted the residential and commercial. If they work in the commercial areas, we'd like them to get to theirs easily. And also we have bridges coming over to our industrial for people who work in the industrial.
And also we have the college and high schools over here, so they can see what it would be like to have a job and get internships in various factories and stuff like that.
And then another reason why we kind of had this river here was we wanted to have a main export in trading with other countries. So we had this river here so it would be easy to have big factories on the river so that we can easily dock out and ship goods to other